At one point, like when we were first together, you decided, at least when I'm in America, that I could wear
I
a
said like
short
that.
sleeve.
Yeah, I said here, yeah.
Like, no, you said like here.
Oh.
And even all the times we video chatted in the
Oh man, their relationship is wild. Every week it's always complaining about what she can and cannot do. And it's crazy because last week I said that this man is going out of his way to control her because he has insecurities. Some people responded by saying it's just the way the culture is, and you know, some people even share their experiences. And I respect that and I get that. But you know what I don't understand? If she's in Egypt, I can understand that he's going to want her to be presentable in a certain type of way. But in this clip right here, they speak about when she was in America. He was telling her how she should be dressing when she was in America. Now, of course, there's some people that might come back and say, well, once you are married to someone, you know, from Egypt and the part of the culture, you must dress accordingly no matter where you are in the world. And if that's the case, all right, cool. I understand. Do I respect it? No. Why? I'm gonna let you know why. Because you see, and this has nothing to do with equality or anything like that, but if two cultures are going to meet together, I don't understand why one of the people has to convert to that culture and become a part of that culture. Why can't there be a middle ground? I mean, look at it this way. If they're in Egypt, all right, cool. The middle ground is you're in Egypt, so please be respectful. You know, dress the way, obviously, I would like you to dress, because obviously this is how we do it in our family, in our culture, the whole shebang. I can respect that. But if we are in another country where, you know, we're not around people from Egypt and whatnot, and we're around other people of that location, whatever, well, then in that case, you can dress however you want to dress, because of course that's going to make you feel comfortable, because that's how you normally dress. Why can't that happen? I mean, listen, at the end of the day, Nicole is an American, born American, raised an American, okay? That is something that is put into her brain. She's always going to be like that for as long as possible, right? So for me personally, why can't there be this thing where if two people from two different cultures ever meet, fall in love, which definitely this isn't, but fall in love and want to be together, why can't there be a middle ground? Why is it's always, but yeah, I'm Muslim, so you're going to have to basically convert or whatever? It just doesn't make sense to me, you know? It literally, look at it this way. When you marry someone, when you date someone, you then become in a relationship with someone, you become exclusive, you then decide to marry that person. You do it because of what value they bring to your life and what value you bring to their life. You do it because the communication that you have is phenomenal. You do it because that person allows you to feel free. You both feel like you have wings and you can fly and do anything together, because that is what your relationship is based on, right? That's generally it. There is no feeling trapped, feeling like a prisoner. There is no, oh, I must clean the floor for your family. There is no, you know what I mean? It's supposed to be pure between the two people. It's just crazy that when two people meet from two different parts of the world, they're not allowed to have that unless, of course, one of them becomes a rebel and gets, I guess, you know, thrown away from their culture. It's a very funky one.
Oh, you're wearing jacket there, like you always
No,
do
that's
that.
not true. I would be wearing short sleeves.
You never showed me that.
Yes, I did.
You never did.
Yes, I did.
You never did.
So he would be asking for her to show him what she's wearing via video call. Forget about the conversation about whether she wore jackets or didn't, but this is what was happening. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, for me, I'm still going to call it controlling. I'm going to call it controlling. Some people may say, no, it's culture, da-da-da-da-da. Men in these cultures, that's what they get, da-da-da-da. Women have no say, blah, blah, blah. And I get it. But I don't want to talk about this based on culture. I want to talk about this based on just what is right. Because the fact is, we talk about culture all the time. But here's the thing, though. We can talk about culture all we like, but it doesn't mean that that is what is right. And it doesn't mean that that is what they should be doing. End of the day, I wouldn't put myself in a position where I would end up being with someone that's going to make me change my ways. I mean, I guess as a man, I can say that because I guess as a man, I wouldn't really be in that position. But then again, if I was to ever fall in love with a woman from who's maybe, you know, a Muslim or whatnot, maybe I may have to convert. I don't know. Maybe. But I can tell you this now 100%. I ain't ever gonna marry someone or be with someone that puts me in a position where I feel like I can't fly. We have one life, and in this life we have opportunities that come to us all the time. It's a matter of taking the opportunity that's gonna really make us happy. The opportunity that makes us always feel free. Because to be honest, we grow up. When we grow up in a system where we must go to school. We grow up in a home where we must listen to our mom and dads. We can't do much. It's only when we get older and we start paying our own bills and we have our own jobs, we can then actually use the money to what we want to use it for in the first place when we were children or whatever it could be, right? So why the hell am I going to put myself in a position as an adult to be with someone whose family brings me this level of feeling trapped as if I'm still a child?
I think we not can be together. So
the reverse psychology. You know, this is one of the most common tactics that is done in abusive relationships. You know, mental abusive relationships. So because the conversation isn't going his way, he's going to throw out the, hey, I told you how I feel about clothes. I'm never going to change my mind about how I feel about clothes. You must do what I want. And if you're not going to, well, then we can't be together. It's interesting because they have this conversation as if it's a new conversation. These two have been together before. This is not their first rodeo. It's quite crazy, and I'll tell you what's so crazy. As I watch every scene with Mahmoud, and this isn't me trying to, you know, make him out to be a villain, but you try to watch a scene with Mahmoud, he just gives me vibes of someone that could potentially be physically abusive. He gives me those vibes because the way he throws tantrums is very unhealthy. The way he just storms out of the room, sits down on the sofa. No. You must dress like this. And if you don't, then I will leave you. Like, then there's no point of us being together. Like, yo. And I think sometimes this is the problem, you know, because even when we talk about culture, you can't tell me that in cultures, if men don't get what they want, that they do not put their hands on women. That is a known thing. That is public knowledge. It may not happen in all cultures, and it may not happen with every single man in that culture, but it happens. That cannot be avoided. And this is the thing that I really dislike the most about watching their relationship. It doesn't matter how people feel about Nicole. Personally, I don't mind her. I don't think she's that bad, to be honest with you. I just think that she's someone who makes very poor choices. And those poor choices make her look like a complete idiot. And therefore, she's an idiot for them, right? But at the same time, it doesn't move from the fact that the way this man is moving, the way he is behaving, just gives me such strong vibes of the fact that if it's not his way, then it's either you get out, or I may just have to do something malicious. But again, I'm not saying that is what he's going to do. What I'm saying is that his actions give me those vibes. You know, and it's not nice to see those vibes because those vibes can be quite triggering to people who have actually been in those situations. But do I believe that he has put his hands on her ever? No, I don't 100%, because if he had, then I don't see her going to America, disappearing, and then wanting to come back to him again. Obviously he's not that person. But I just feel like these are the things that sometimes have to be taken seriously, because sometimes in life, people will watch something, they'll be like, oh, but that's just the way they are in their culture. But sometimes people forget that just because this is how someone is in their culture doesn't mean that we should avoid the red flags that we see that someone who isn't a part of the culture would normally do. And when they do it, we would normally be like, that person seems to be quite abusive, and we wouldn't be surprised if that person was. So I have to point these things out. Because if I'm not pointing them out, then I'm not being true to myself when I make these videos. I make them to be true, you know what I mean, to myself, not to lie for subs or people that like me or whatever. No. You ain't keeping it 100 in this life, then what the hell are you doing? But let's continue.
You can't be with me, but don't have me come here and like work really hard and then just be like, I don't want to be with you because you can't.
I don't want to talk anymore. I'm serious.
Okay.
She makes very good points. You know, but obviously at the same time though, despite the fact that she makes very good points, these are conversations I guess that she should have taken more seriously, because obviously Nicole is someone that is clearly delusional. She's clearly someone that they probably had conversations to some level here, but she's the kind of person who probably thought, it's okay, I'm sure I can change him, or it's okay, I'm sure it's not that deep. It's okay, I'm sure when we get there we'll be able to compromise somehow. And I think Nicole needs to get it into a freaking head that compromise is never going to happen with Mahmoud. Never gonna happen. The man does not love you enough. No, in fact, let me remove that. Love is not enough for him to compromise his beliefs. for you. Remember that. Love is generally not strong enough to sustain a relationship, and that's something a lot of people need to understand. Love is a very powerful thing. It can be a powerful thing for great things, but it can also be a powerful thing for, as I like to say, love is the weapon of mass destruction. That's why we get toxic love and we get pure love and whatever other loves are out there in the world. But as you saw right there, man storms off like a little baby. Storms off. I'm curious, if the cameras wasn't there, would you have stormed off, or would the situation been serious? I like to imagine they would have stormed off as well. But at the end of the day, to be honest with you, at the same time, I remember Himina and Mike from 9 Day Fiancé before the 9 days. Himina said that TLC did not show everything that went down in that scene. The scene where she said that Mike pretty much was quite abusive. And, you know, it was never aired on the show because, you know, they wanted to make him look a certain type of way and make her look a certain type of way. So at the end of the day, to be honest, sometimes I wouldn't put it past TLC for them to see certain things and be like, yeah, we just won't show that. That's what they freaking do. I mean, look at the track record, the amount of criminals that they've had on the show before and after. But yeah, either way though, Nicole really should never make the jump to America. I don't really think she should be in a position to necessarily put all the blame on him for the fact that she's made the move. I feel like she should have really been more, she should have got more clarity out of him before making the move. So really and truly, that's on her.
Okay, Nicole. So you don't want us to do? So what you do now?
I'm packing my to leave because you told me that's what you want.
It's crazy, isn't it? I don't know. You know what? Sometimes some people try and play people's bluff. He told her to leave, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna go. And now he's like, where are you going? Oh man, I love when people try and use their own reverse psychology and it doesn't go to plan. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, you know, I actually respect this from Nicole because you tell me to pack my stuff, I'm like, I'm gone then. You think I'm gonna wait around and fight for you for a reason? I'm gone. If you don't want me, I'm gone. I ain't playing games or bluffing, you know what I mean? If you wanted me to be here, then you would never say to me, go away or, you know, pack your stuff or that you don't want to be with me. You wouldn't say that. Once someone says that to me, I'm just like, Don't get me wrong, there are some situations where people are looking for reassurance, but those situations aren't going to be situations like this, you know. I can say that maybe let's say, for example, somebody messages me and says to me, I feel like this might not work because, I don't know, let's say someone said to me, I feel like this may not work because you don't seem to show that you care about me or whatever, or somebody said to me, you know, I don't think this is going to work because when I'm with you, I feel like I'm everything to you, but when I'm not with you, I feel like as if I don't exist, whatever. In that situation, all right, cool. I'm more than happy to reassure that person and be like, listen, my apologies. I'm just one of these people that I'm very, very good at. I'm one of these people that in person, I'm amazing, yes. But when I'm not with you, to be honest with you, I admit I am absolutely shockingly terrible because I'm just an in-person kind of person, right? To be fair, generally speaking, I'm an in-person kind of person. I hate the whole text nonsense, to be fair. That, I can reassure someone, you know what I mean? But it's not the same thing. But in the situation when somebody says to me, if you don't do this, then I don't want to be with you. Okay, see you later then. Okay, bye. So that's why I do respect that, to be fair, from her. But yeah.
You can stay anyway.
No, you don't want me, I'm gone. I gave up everything. I came here to be with you. And then now you say you don't want me anymore because
you can't argue with it. You can't argue with that, to be honest with you. But maybe I'm projecting because I'd be the same in the situation. But I'm not projecting because, to be honest with you, when I do these TV shows, I can't really do them with a projection. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, gotta be open-minded at all times. But of course, sometimes even when you're open-minded, your mind can still be a little bit tunnel vision, if you dig what I'm saying, because sometimes we don't recognize when we do that. But for me personally, you know, I know that I would definitely be behaving the same way as her, so I don't want to be a hypocrite to that. I mean, I'd be interested to see how other people would behave, but for me personally, I just don't like games. Games are wasting my bloody time. I've got better things to do than to be playing games with somebody personally, but yeah.
See, if really you want me or not.
what the Mahmoud? I came all this way. You think I don't want you? What?
Everything you promised me, you never did. So what?
Oh, this guy is draining. This guy is draining. This guy is draining. They keep talking about promises. I'll be honest with you, you know. They both need to get past this whole promise nonsense. She promised him this, he promised her that. The album goes back and forth. How about if you want to be together, sit down, have a conversation, and talk about these promises. But don't talk about them as if like these are promises that have now been broken, whatever. Talk about them as if you're now going to put everything out there and figure out where the miscommunication was within these promises. And then once you figure out the miscommunication with these promises, you can then re-talk about them and say, okay, cool. How can we move forward from these promises? How can we guarantee that these promises are going to happen? Which ones can we just throw out the window because they're not even that deep? Have a freaking conversation. But hey, man, we live in a world where people don't know how to have conversation. I mean, we live in a world where nowadays everybody's sensitive to everything. Honestly, man, I can't imagine having a conversation with today's society, man. God damn, you say anything bad in hell, man, it's a sensitive matter. I mean, for me personally, I couldn't really give a damn. End of the day, you know, I live by the ability of the fact that everyone should have the ability to have a freedom of speech. Now, of course, freedom of speech doesn't mean that you are correct. Freedom of speech does not mean that it doesn't mean it's not going to be offensive, you know. But at the end of the day, I'm just very bad at beating around the bush, as you can see, because I'm trying to do it now and I can't even do it. You know what I mean? I just think when people are saying something, they should definitely say what they're saying. But at the same time, though, if you know full on what you're going to say is going to be offensive and it's not needed to be said, then 100% keep it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, a lot of relationships nowadays lack communication because people are too sensitive in relationships. People don't have conversations that are serious. There is no point of wanting to get in a relationship with someone if you can't have a serious conversation with them. There is no way I'd ever get in a relationship with someone knowing the fact that when I talk to them, everything is always tucked underneath the rug. Why the hell would I want to be with someone that doesn't allow me to actually tell them how I feel? And I wouldn't want someone to be with me if I never allowed them to tell me how they feel neither. That makes no sense. It is called unhealthy. But anyway, first rule of dating, ladies and gentlemen, just don't date, just have sex. Just enjoy the feeling of ejaculation and that's it. Ah, dear, I'm about to make a lot of people break up right now, aren't I? Yeah. Okay, don't listen to me. I'll listen to me, but you don't listen to me. But we continue.
I don't feel you love me anymore.
Now I know for sure, like, that there's like a pretty big issue.
I mean, that is a wild thing to say. I don't feel like you love me, man. I hate when people say that, to be honest with you, man. I just can't stand it when someone says that, you know, like, I hate that, to be honest with you. If you don't feel like I love you, then why are you still here? Why are you telling me? Oh yeah, because you want me to reassure you, right? I won't lie to you. Telling someone that I don't feel like you love me anymore is just one of those statements that just isn't needed personally. Because at the end of the day, if that person didn't love you, well then why is that person still in your life? But at the same time, if you feel so strongly about that person not loving you, well then why are you still in their life? I mean, look at it this way. What is the point of getting reassurance from someone that you don't feel like loves you? If you genuinely feel like that person doesn't love you, you are telling them that you want them to reassure you, so they give you an excuse of why you should stay in this relationship, even though you know it is now dead. You know it's time for you to get out. That's why people say most of the time, I feel like you don't love me no more. Because they just want that person to convince them to why they should stay. But they know full well that they should probably leave. That's such a weak person statement in my opinion. But then again, I will say this though, I guess in some situations, maybe it is worth saying. Let me not say that, you know what I mean? But for the most part, it's a tool that people use and I hate it.
That's giving up my apartment,
Yes.
giving up everything,
Yes.
and moving all the way to Egypt
Yes.
is a pretty big gesture of love.
I know, but never I felt you felt like I'm the right person you needed.
You know, when someone's trying so hard to control the narrative, when someone is trying so hard to try and twist things so much so the person can become under their control again. He's saying everything possible that 100% is just built for reverse psychology, just built just to manipulate, just built to make it feel like absolute garbage. This isn't a relationship, is it now? If a relationship is built on trying to make someone feel some type of way, that isn't good. You don't have a relationship.
I don't know anything other than that you told me to go, so that's what I'm going to do.
I never wanted you to go, Nicole. You know
So
that.
why did you say it? Don't do that. Like, don't make me come here and then tell me you want me to go and then.
Sorry guys, I have to literally pause it just for the copyright purposes, but this scene here, I'm definitely trying to show it to you as much as you can because, to be honest with you, what she says here is gems, like boom bam.
Storm off and then just leave me here. You know what it's like? I'm a person in Egypt, you know? Stop like playing with me. This is why we never get anything done. You're always just like playing these weird little games.
Stop playing with with me. You're always playing these weird little games. Stop playing with me. That's a level of maturity right there from Nicole, you know what I'm saying? Stop playing with me, like, you're telling me all these things. Don't play with me. Have a conversation with me. Stop playing. I like the fact that she read into this guy's madness. Love it. Like, why? Don't waste my time. Telling me to leave, so I'll leave. I don't want you to leave. So why did you say it then? I traveled from a whole nother country, a whole other land for you. For you to then tell me that when we have an argument that you don't agree with, that you don't want to be, that we shouldn't be together. To then tell me, oh, no, I don't want you to leave. To then tell, like, yo, I didn't travel all this way for this madness. Are you mad? Mahmoud. Definition of moving mad. Anyway, it is what it is. Until the next episode, of course, I'll see you then. But yeah, don't forget to catch the full reaction to the full episode on my Patreon account, where you don't need to worry about me pausing every bloody 10 seconds because I'm allowed to play it. I'm allowed to let it play because copyright free is a thing on Patreon. Anyway, link is down below in the description. Please don't forget to like, sub, and comment. Peace.